And we are back, and Bryan Broaddus has a phenomenal new looking microphone. Boy,
Don DeMarco
got me some new microphone stuff. Was I a little loud there?
Nah, you're fantastic, man. Shouts out to Odyssey. They found a little money in the piggy bank there. They found a little something. They got you and Bobby some new mics, man. Shouts out to Odyssey, man.
You know what, man? Voch and I are trying to get our own studios.
Yeah.
You know, Voch and I are working on our own studio. But you never know. You never know. You never know. Yeah. These two, really 1.5 football brains will be maybe together one day here very soon.
Yeah, Bryan Broaddus, we're not gonna need those mics, man. So hopefully that mic didn't set Odyssey back too bad, man. Hopefully, we got some good little work for everybody tuned in today. We got we're gonna continue to preview and break down the Giants defense today, Bryan Broaddus. Now, this seems to be the case, man. The last couple of breakdowns that we've done, Bryan, it's like I'd be, really worried about one side of the ball, but the other side of the ball, I would feel a little better about, and that trend's kind of gonna continue this week. But it's weird, Bryan, because I feel like the defensive side of the ball got more dudes on it. I think there are better dudes on the defensive side of the ball, but just in context of what they do versus the Cowboys and how we're going to match up against them, I'm just more worried about the Giants and their offense or whatnot. But the Giants have 3 premier guys. I would call them, Bryan. I would say 4. Let's say 4 premier guys. I would say Thibodeau. I would say Burns, Lawrence, and Okereke. I hope I said his name right. Bobby Okereke, the linebacker. If there's 4 Giants that I feel like can come in and make a change and make some big plays for you, I think it's going to be one of those 4 guys, Bryan.
Yeah, I think to me, you're dead on about the ability of those guys to make plays, the 4 you named. I think the one that might scare me the most will be the guy in the middle, is that Dexter Lawrence.
Yep.
And I'm fearful because of the way he can affect the passing game when it comes to the middle push that he can get. And his ability just to walk your center or just look at that. I mean, it's amazing how that was a guard right there that he was all over. It just the power, and he's so hard to deal with as he's coming up the field. It's just constant pressure. And, you get these centers and these guards, and they just can't sit down on him. They can't stop him. And the one thing that we've learned about Dak Prescott is his ability to want to climb the pocket and want to be a guy that, is stepping into those throws. And, he can navigate anything that comes off the edges. It's the stuff. Every quarterback will tell you that middle pressure affects the eye level, and it affects their ability to make throws because they're having to throw over the top of somebody that's probably in their lap.
Yeah.
And this is where Beebe, Martin, Smith, I wouldn't be shocked if the Giants are just try and get Lawrence on Beebe as much as possible.
Sure.
And Beebe's a powerful man. He's, but he's a young man, and that's grown man strength running over the top of you right there. But his ability to force pressure in the middle of the pocket and, Dak, and kind of limit maybe Dak's ability to step up. We'll see. Dallas has handled him at times very well. And so, but tomorrow I just worry about just from the rookie standpoint, that first couple of reps are going to be a little eye-opening for Beebe. And if I'm Martin, if I'm Smith, if I'm uncovered, I'm kind of keeping an inside eye over there. But man, they've got issues too on the outside. You've got, Steele has played in these types of games, so he understands Thibodeau. He understands Burns. He's faced those two. Guyton on the other side. If you look what they were able to do in the fourth quarter last week against the Ravens, they did a pretty good job of holding up. The blitz pickup stuff was good. The tackles were good. The guards were on point. They were able to move the football because of their ability to keep the front of that pocket clean and give Dak the opportunity to step and throw. And I don't know about you, Voch, but I feel like that if you're going to make plays on the Giants defense, it's at the secondary.
Yeah. 100%, 100%.
I mean,
Wolf.
it's to me, if the route running, the separation, they've got, McLeod is likely going to come back and start. He's been out since week 1 with the knee injury.
Yeah.
With Banks, Banks could be super aggressive, but they, you look at metrics on Banks, they attack the heck out of him.
They go get him.
I mentioned Flock, they lost their nickel in this game. They lost a backup in this game.
Yep.
So, Drew Phillips not going to play. I mean, that's a big loss for them. Mm-hmm. So if Flock is the guy, number 28, I know we talk about this every week, where are the matchups you can win? Those are the directions I'm going to. You protect this front. You keep Dak as clean as possible. There are some plays to be made in the secondary.
Yeah, we talk about trying to get the running game going, trying to acclimate ourselves. Hey, Rico's getting more and more. Zeke is getting less and less. We not hating on Zeke. That's just what it's been so far, right? That's just how they've been doing it. But 100%, Brian, I was just looking at it, and the injury situation is Jackson is hurt, Phillips is hurt, and Nick McLeod is just kind of here and there, but he does play a lot for you. Cordero Flight is a guy that you have picked on before. But Brian, here's my issue. Voch says this. Last year, the Cowboys did a really good job of making CeeDee Lamb find Cordero Flight. You know what I mean? Like the only reason I know Cordero Flight's name is because I made fun of him so badly, Bryan Broaddus.
Right.
I feel like the offense ain't doing a good job, or they are not doing a good job of finding the bad guy or finding the worst player. I feel like last week in the Ravens game, they tried to do it. Stevens kind of got 2 targets, maybe 3 targets at him. Mm-hmm. I wanted Brendan 5, 7, 9 I wanted to go get Brendan Stevens, Bryan Broaddus, but the Cowboys just didn't go after him in the way that I thought they were going to. Cordero Flight is a Brendan Stevens type character. Deontay Banks is a Brendan Stevens type character, and I would love to go after those guys, but the Cowboys have been doing some weird things until somebody gets cussed out. I don't know if anybody's gotten cussed out just yet, Brian, but it seems like out of those front D-line guys, those front 7 or so guys or whatever, it seems like Dexter Lawrence is their best pass rusher also. Yeah. Kayvon and Bryan Burns, they get pressure, and I do have pressures queued up for them, and I watch them, and they get close. But like we always say, the fastest route to the queue is an A-gap. Is right in front of him, and Dexter Lawrence got 3 sacks and a ton of pressures, Bryan Broaddus. So he's also a gangster in the run game. You can't, beat that, but I don't want to run against him anyway. But if we're going to take advantage of those DBs, we may have to hold the ball a little bit longer, so we may have to be a little more stout in the middle. Now, Brian, I know Zach Martin is a legend and a Cowboy, Ring of Honor, and a possible Hall of Fame type character, but if we just talking about 9/25/2024, Zach Martin is a different character than he once was. And if I'm coaching for the Giants, I know that they do a lot of blitzing and things like that to try to find even more pressure and stuff like that. I may try to, and this sounds crazy, Brian, I may try to just leave Dexter Lawrence over there on BB, like you said, but I also think they might try to take advantage of Zach Martin, man. Zach Martin is Zach Martin, but Zach Martin ain't been looking like Zach Martin as of late. Travis Jones took turns beating up everybody last week, so hopefully we just had a bad week, Bryan Broaddus. But I wonder how long is it going to be before some of these DCs look at Zach and go, all right, you're not the Zach Martin that you used to be. We're going to come after you a little bit.
Yeah, I think we're getting closer to the time where we watched the 65 plays, and it used to be you watch 65 plays with Zach Martin, and there were 64 pluses. Yeah. When you grade the film, it's, 64 pluses, 1 minus. Now we're to the point of 64 plays, 4 minuses. Sure. 5 minuses. It's becoming a little bit more apparent that there's some struggles with some power. There's been some struggles with guys with a little bit of quickness, with him kind of getting walked, and they get down the red zone, and against the Saints, they give up an inside pressure with him. His guy, comes over the top of him inside and then swats the ball out of Dak's hands. It's on the turf, and now, your Tolbert's having to dive on top of it. We never saw that before.
Mm-hmm.
The bar, as we've talked about, is so high for Zach Martin, and it has been. Hall of Fame career, one of the best to play guard. When they start to talk about all the great guards and in Dallas Cowboy history and professional football history, Zach Martin's name will be mentioned among those guys.
Yeah.
But his level has gone down. And so now you look at, if I'm playing against the Cowboys front, I'm not attacking Smith as much as I'm attacking Zach Martin. Mm-hmm. And I think that's something that the Cowboys are kind of looking at right now, and teams are looking at right now, that, okay, Zach Martin is no longer that guy that just would stone you at the line of scrimmage and keep you from getting any type of pressure.
Yeah.
Man, he's played in a ton of these games. I mean, he's played Lawrence a ton. He understands. He knows. He and Smith and those guys, they know what they're up against. BB, he hasn't faced one like this. But, if I'm the Giants, I'm not worried. And I say worried, I'm not like, boy, Zach Martin's going to kick our ass today. And we're going to have to, he is going to be a battle. It's going to be a battle for all those inside guys. And it's going to be a battle for the Giants guys too. Smith, BB's getting better every game, but still it's, we talked about last couple of weeks, especially last week, the twist stunt stuff, and when BB got too involved in the pass, we've saw in the, passing his guy, too connected, too
get turned.
Far.
He's turned.
He gets turned. And then all of a sudden, here comes the looper, and now he's trying to disengage and then dive back to the inside. Mm. I'm sure that he's now well aware, and I'm sure that Solari has coached him as like, listen, when you pass, you push and you stay square. Don't get turned. That's what happens to us when you stay too connected on the guy you're passing. There's a looper coming over the top. When you see that, trust Smith, trust Zach. If you pass them, it's going to be taken care of. You just be ready for the looper. And I think when you watch the tape, some teams are going to try and see if BB's learned his lesson on that. But to your point, attacking Zach Martin, which was once a no-no, is something that maybe now you're like, maybe there's a little slippage with the Hall of Fame player.
Man, Bryan, they got a rookie out there at safety, man. Tyler Nubin, our guy from Minnesota. We was watching him. That. You know what I'm saying? That was one of your guys, Bryan. And
that's my guy.
They walk him down and back sometimes. Yeah. He'll do that little thing. They'll drop him out in his zone looks and stuff like that to try to muddy the looks and all this kind of stuff. Bryan, do you think this would be a fantastic time to find a rookie in the secondary and take advantage of him?
Man, I'll tell you what, I think I love Nubin. You're absolutely right. He was one of my favorite players watching in the, when the safeties, and there was a good group of safeties last year in the draft. I was really pleased with the way that these kids showed up during the draft. Mm-hmm. You mentioned, I'll say that Pennick, the other safety is somebody you have to worry about as a blitzer.
Sure.
But Nubin, yes. Dak Prescott, maybe some manipulation. You keep his head on a swivel in this game. Route running. If the Giants, they, Banks, those guys, they want to play aggressive. They want to be on you. Make sure that safety gets put in some stressful moments if you can. But boy, I'll tell you what, I really love the kid coming out of Minnesota. I think he's going to be a good player one day.
Yeah.
But try and play with him a little bit. Mm-hmm. Try and play with him a little bit in this game. And then I could say with Pennick, you just need to be worried about him being around the football. All of a sudden he's coming across the formation, carrying a guy, and then he blitzes off the edge. And you're thinking, damn, he's in coverage. No, wait, he's coming on a blitz.
Sure.
So backs, tight ends, quarterbacks, everybody needs to be alert with these safeties and the way that they play.
Yeah, it was interesting, Bryan. I was watching the Cleveland tape, and the very first play of Amari Cooper. All right, we're going to go find Deontay Banks, run past him, and we're going to see if Tyler Nubin can get over there fast enough. And unfortunately, he wasn't able to. But that very first play, Cooper went out there and scored. Man, I would love for us to do something like that, assuming that we want to do right by us. But Bryan, let me just ask you. Let's just ask you a question, man. Voch says this. I've been watching our wide receivers, and I just planted this little seed in my audience, and they're just listening. And I just gave this little tidbit. I was like, man, I'm just wondering if Tolbert's usage is going to pass Brandon Cooks' usage at some point. We see Tolbert just getting incorporated a little bit more. I wish Tolbert to do a little more, but he is getting incorporated just a little bit more. Bryan, do you think that? And look, man, I don't count on Mike McCarthy to do nothing positive, Bryan. That's just where I'm at right now, right? But do you think that, this is a time where we're going to see Tolbert, Turpin, and Brooks kind of get more involved? Maybe we can find a way to get Cooks going. This is a depleted secondary as is, and now they hurt, So I think this is a fantastic time to make an attempt to get your passing game going, or at least your wide receivers going, Bryan. Do you see this being a Tolbert breakout game?
Man, what did we watch in the end of the third quarter and into the fourth? It wasn't CeeDee Lamb, one catch, 9 yards, and a lot of bad body language guy. The team rallied. The team rallied with Tolbert, Cooks, Turpin, Ferguson, Hunter Lipke, Dowdle. That's how that team rallied last week. It wasn't your best player. Your best player was struggling in that football game. He was fighting a lot of things. He was fighting himself. He was fighting his emotions. He was fighting. And when you got to that fourth, everybody that you mentioned, those were the ones that brought you back in that football game. Those are the guys that were running the routes that were creating separation. I think Dak Prescott, I was looking at the metrics, I was curious, looking at the metrics the other day about it, and all of a sudden it's like, the first 3 quarters of that game, huge tight window throws. The fourth quarter in that game, his open receivers, the percentage doubled in that game. He found more space. The receivers found more space, and people will say, well, they were playing soft, this, that, and the other. I had a guy arguing with me about cover 6. Oh, it's a soft defense. Cover 2, soft defense. I mean, everything was soft defense. And, I put out a tweet, like a guy said, oh, he just did it all against prevent. The next gen stats that the next gen provides to all the NFL teams, which is a supercharged version that you cannot get, but the teams get these stats. And you look at the breakdown, and it was clear. It was clear. It wasn't prevent defense, and they were bringing pressure. They were doing their best to cover.
That's cover 3 right there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. To me, this is where the fourth quarter of that game should have been a wake-up call for everybody that plays on Dallas's offense. Like, listen, our best player on offense wasn't having one. He just wasn't having a day. And everybody else stepped up to get them back in that game. And I see no reason why that Mike McCarthy can't continue to do things in that regard to try and get everybody involved. And I'll ask you this, Voch.
This man one hot. Go ahead, Bryan.
Yeah, I'll ask you this, and correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if we talked about it yesterday. We might have, but why does everybody else attack our players?
Sure.
And we don't figure this thing out. It looked like we figured it out a little bit in the Ravens game, but why do you not start the games that way? Why are there not specific, like, this guy can't cover?
Yeah.
This guy can't cover well enough, or this guy doesn't play run defense very well. Yeah. We're going to run it at somebody that's an all-pro, when they've got some guy on the other side that doesn't handle blocks very well. Or we're going to throw the ball at a guy that can actually play coverage when on the other side of the field, we're giving a pass to the guy who doesn't cover well.
Sure.
It just seems like every week, I used to do pro personnel stuff for the Cowboys, advanced scouting, and I'd come back and say, attack this guy, make sure this guy, don't give these teams a break. Am I wrong about this? When you watch the tape, do you feel like, and you could say no, you won't, like, no, Bryan, they attack guys. You're just not seeing the film the right way. But I just don't feel like we nearly go after, like last week. And I'm sorry, I keep talking here.
Please,
but last week,
please.
Washington, the safety, they got Turpin on him.
Yeah.
Touchdown.
Yeah.
That's okay. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody, a safety having to cover Turpin, bad matchup for the Ravens.
Sure.
It just seemed like, and it just seems like you don't go into the game with an idea of, let's take it to this guy or take it to this guy and wear him out until they do something different.
Sure.
I don't understand it.
I think the Cowboys pay people a lot of money to watch film and be like, hey, the weakness is here. Okay.
Yeah.
I can't assume that those people have a very hard job. I know it's not an easy job, but I'm a dude with a microphone and a camera, and I can tell you, hey man, this dude got bad feature. Might want to put Parsons over him. This corner gives up a lot of big plays. I want to go after him like a bunch. You know what I'm saying? Bryan, for example, like when Dan Quinn was coaching and we had like a bad cornerback 2 problem. Yeah. Every single week teams were just throwing that cornerback 2. I'm like, and they wouldn't do it just once, Bryan. They'll do Christian Watson is famous here for running versus cornerback 2 versus Dallas. That's the kind of attacking I want to do. So no, you're not wrong, Bryan Broaddus. And I don't think there's anything wrong with us agreeing here or just being on the same page here. But it's like, I don't want to just have a mismatch one time. I want to mismatch it until you stop it. Right.
Yeah.
So, and this on both sides of the football, Bryan. Honestly, right. Ardarius Washington is 5'5". What, like 5'7" or something?
Yeah, he's small.
Man, I'm about to take Jake Ferguson and make him jump over him, Bryan, bro. Just something like that. You know what I mean? But we didn't do that. Falele, we kept talking about him. He's 6'8", 390 pounds, and he got terrible feet. Man, when you put Micah over him, it worked.
It worked. See, that's
what I'm
saying.
Please.
The one time, and the Ravens didn't throw the ball at all.
Sure.
I mean, they for a game. I mean, neither did the Saints. They, for NFL standards, they didn't throw the ball at all. Mm-hmm. But I was sitting in the press box and I leaned over to Zach Wolchuk and I go, "Watch this. Micah is about to rush over Falele and he's about to get a pressure here. Sure. Get ready." Sure enough, what happened? Now, but you never could get them in a situation where, but to me, that's what needs to happen right off the jump. If they've got a guy that can't handle speed or can't handle quickness or can't handle power, yes, that's it. Just keep going to that until they either change it, or by changing it, you may put them in some stress. I just don't think we do that nearly enough. And I know Alex Loomis and guys, Henry Schroka, and I know all those guys over there, the pro personnel people. I know they go out and they evaluate and they come back and they say, well, hey, this guy doesn't play very well. Or this guy does. Oh, stay away from this guy. Or, hey, attack this guy. Mm-hmm. I just feel like that every time we play somebody, they do it to us.
Sure.
And I say us being the Dallas Cowboys. And then we're watching tape and they're like, man, they figured out our guy can't play the run. They figure that out. Now, oh wait, they're running the ball right off of Linval Joseph here because they know they're just running the guards up on the linebackers because they know Linval Joseph can't get over there. They don't even have to double him. They just they brush him and then go to the second level because they know he can't get. Look where the ball goes. Mm-hmm. You're just like going. They just take advantage of you. And I'm sorry, I'm a broken record right now when it comes to this, but you wonder, you watch these teams and the teams with motion and all the things, what are they doing? They're attacking your bad players.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what Bill Belichick, I just remember all those years of Belichick, like he will find your bad players. It might take him a series or two, but he will find a matchup that he can win. And then he'll go to work on it. That to me is football. That's like, if you're going to be cavalier enough to put somebody out there that can't cover, flock, you put somebody out there like that can't cover. I'm going to take my best guy and I'm going to force you to have to get him off coverage.
Well, Bryan, I'll say this, and I don't think I'm going to make a lot of friends over in the building. No way. They don't let me in the press conferences. No way, Bryan. So I guess I can just say what I want here. How prepared can your play caller be if he's a delegator? You know, how prepared can you honestly be if your thing is to delegate? Like that's his, like he has a reputation of that. He's known for that. We tell him that. We are at Oxnard. When I say we, I mean me theoretically, but you're there. And it's like Bones is coaching, like Fossil is coaching and stuff, right? And look, man, I'm not saying Mike is lazy or that he's unprepared, but just me watching the film, it seems as though he is, right? Like we just can't be running stop routes all day. Like we run a ton of stop routes, Bryan, bro. And it ain't just like, it's like they're sitting on the stop route. They know we're not gonna, try them deep or anything like that. We're almost, how many times did you watch the film when you see CeeDee Lamb or Brandon Cooks run downfield? They run into somebody
and then hit the brakes
and then stop, Bryan, bro. I'm like, man, why aren't we taking advantage of that? Why don't we do that and break inside as opposed to just stop? I just wonder how prepared can someone be if they're constantly delegating responsibility to everybody else, Bryan?
It's a question that needs to be answered.
Will McClay fought you for asking. So he can fight me for it. Also, I would love to have a fight with Will McClay just for whatever reason. But if you just look at this offense the past 3 weeks this year and the first 6 weeks last year, it reeks of an offense that's not prepared, that's leaning on something else on the team to carry them. Even when you win in games early in the season, that's still the defense beating up on the Jets offense or something, or beating up on the Giants. But when it's time for the offense to ring the bell, you don't, because you look unprepared, Bryan.
Yeah, I just the ability to come out and start quick, it was just so evident last week. And I wonder as a play caller if Mike does get nervous about his offensive line.
Of course.
And maybe he's nervous about the left tackle being a rookie, and maybe he's nervous about the center being a rookie, and maybe he sees a declining player from an all-pro to maybe a Pro Bowl guard, but there's some decline. And then his right tackle, he sees inside pressure sometimes. He called that game early like he was afraid. And the Ravens, the more you watched, and they struggled. They'll tell you talk to the people that work at the Ravens, like, the pressures haven't been very good. We haven't had, And there was some early stuff that happened in that game. There were some early things that didn't go the right way. But man, why did it take so long to kind of figure things out? Why wasn't that the plan off the jump? That third quarter, fourth quarter, the way he was calling ball plays with the pace they were playing with, 3 on, 3 off, switching the running backs in and out. Getting Deuce Vaughn in there, throwing the Texas route, throwing a screen to him, whatever they had to do, he became a better play caller. And it's like the games start like, man, you got one of the best quarterbacks in the league. You got one of the best wide receivers in the league. Wear their ass out, figure out how, and I'm talking about downfield throws. I'm not talking about, hooks and spot routes and things like that, talking about like, challenge these defenses to be a little bit, challenge them to play. I would rather see them challenge than just try and nickel and dime somebody to start games. The waggles, the boots, those things have their place. But man, you got a quarterback that can make some damn good throws. Go for it. Try it a little bit. I'm not talking about just 50-yard bombs and so hell, maybe you need a couple of those. By the way, I'd be a little nervous about the Giants connecting on that. I was on the Giants podcast today, and I was talking about Hyatt, and they're like, well, they really haven't connected on those. I'm like, okay, get ready. Dallas will find a way for their safeties not to be able to turn and not be able to run and not catch up to the ball. And then every time you feel like, well, they've missed a ton, they'll hit Dallas for one. Happens every year. Yep. Somebody like, well, they're not connecting on them. Boom. Here we go. 70 yards, one play kind of a thing. But I think with Mike, it's it's just blows my mind that the personnel that he has, that you play is the way you do to start games. I just don't see it as a positive at all. And again, maybe that's all nerves. Maybe it's like I'm not too sure. I need to see how Steele's blocking today. I need to see how Guyton's going to block today. Man, let it rip a little bit. Let it rip. But take advantage of teams that have players that they're trying to get by in games with. Don't give them an easy out by not attacking. Like, wow, Flock they only targeted him 3 times in this game. You should target him 21 times in this game is what you should do.
Yep.
It's not the MO. It's just not the MO. And I think that, to me, I don't know, man. I watch the tape and I'm amazed, and I watch other teams' tape and I'm amazed. Yeah. I'm amazed. I'm almost jealous. I'm almost jealous in a lot of ways.
I'm a hater.
Yeah. I'm like, God. And it's just not the 49ers, but there's other teams that are doing stuff that you're going, huh, okay.
People thought that I was like clickbaiting with the takes for the Giants yesterday, because I said I was actually jealous of the Giants offense, and people thought I was being funny. I would love for my quarterback to run sometimes. I would love to get my run game going regardless of what my offensive line looks like. Yeah. I would love to get my wide receiver too involved, like Wan'Dale Robinson gets involved with. I have some jealousy for the Giants and their offense, but I don't think that's good for the Giants. I just think that just means that we're being bad, but
yeah. See, it's funny, you talk about the Giants offense and what Singletary does. Mm-hmm. And Dallas has proven, and Dallas is one of the top teams in the league when it comes to missed tackles.
Yeah.
They've given up like 200. I saw this today because I was going through my next gen stuff, just getting ready for the game. Dallas has missed enough tackles. I think there are 37 of them in 3 games to give up 241 extra yards with missed tackles.
Wow.
Think about that.
Wow.
240 yards just extra on missed tackles. Wow.
Crazy.
It's crazy, but it's you want to say, well, why are they bad? Why they have a bad run defense? They don't tackle particularly well at times. You know? And I kind of felt like this linebacking crew would be a really good. You know what player? This is surprising, and Next Gen had this for me. What player on the defense has 9 missed tackles?
On the Cowboys defense?
On the Cowboys defense has 9 missed tackles. I'll give you just a couple of guesses, and then I'll tell you. If you just it's a starter.
It better not be Donovan Wilson.
Nope.
It better not be Eric Kendricks.
No, it's Tank Lawrence. Man. Tank has 9 missed tackles.
Man.
That's what I mean. And I was just going through it, and I was thinking, damn, that seems like. I'm thinking, well, maybe so. You start kind of going through them.
Yeah. But 3 of them was like Watson or something, like not sacking Watson, but the rest, yeah, that's still 6. Yeah.
9 missed tackles.
That's terrible.
So you're struggling with that, and you're trying to play really good run defense, but you can't get guys on the ground. And then so every time, and this guy you're about to play against Cleveland last week, and it was tough sledding against Cleveland. Anytime you play Cleveland running the ball, it's no bargain. Mm-hmm. This guy was hit at the line of scrimmage or behind the line of scrimmage. He was hit 75% of the times at or behind the line of scrimmage and still averaged 4.5 yards a carry. What does that tell you, man? You better tackle. Yeah. You better tomorrow night tackle this guy.
Yeah.
Or you're going to be in a lot of, oh, wow, that's 2nd and 4, 2nd and 3, they're going to try, and they're going to try and run on you too. Yeah. Why would they not? Why would they not try and run on you?
Sure.
That scares me tomorrow a little bit with that. And I know it's not the Ravens rushing attack or what the Saints showed you, but if tomorrow night you give it up to a back that's pretty good and a quarterback that, is capable of running, and, you go out and lose this game because you're not playing that well, then you are who you are. You are who you are.
Hey man, we got a game tomorrow, Bryan Broaddus.
Got a game tomorrow, don't we?
You know, so we'll post game show. I know it's gonna be a little late. You know.
Are you gonna be up at my post game goes till 1 a.m?
Man, I'm going to sleep. I talk to you in the morning.
Talk to you Friday morning. Is that what you're telling me?
I talk to you at 5. You say midnight. One.
Yeah, I got an interesting day tomorrow. I gotta do my radio show. It started at 2-hour radio show, 3-hour pregame show, game, 3-hour postgame show. So I'm gonna go from 1 in the afternoon until 1 at night. So I got a 12-hour day doing radio tomorrow.
I don't wish.
That's why they pay me huge to do this. By the way, I'm a multi-millionaire doing this.
Give them my number so I can come do some post game shows with you. You crazy? Tell them I'll do them with you. But
one day, brother. One day, you and I are going to do a pre and a post game, and we're going to do a draft, and we're going to do everything together. Trust me, we're going to get this done.
You know how many boats we can buy if both of us do post game shows, bro?
I tell you what, man, if they paid us millions of dollars to do this, boy, we'd be loving it. We might do a show every day if they paid us millions of dollars.
I do 1 year. I do 1 year. That's all I need, bro. You crazy?
Oh man, all good. Yeah, but yeah, I'm gonna get up Friday morning and watch that tape. So if we can reconvene sometime Friday.
I can wake up early in the morning. I can wake up early Friday.
Yeah, I've got. Let me see. I got to be on. What I got going Friday morning? I got to be. I don't have to be at the station until. Oh, I got to do Cowboys. I got to do Cowboys break at 11.
Oh, we'll see. We'll see.
So I will find you one way. If not, I'll find you Friday night. You and I don't have a life.
Yeah, we'll just reconvene Friday night. We'll do it like that. But listen, man, however the people gonna watch us, man, we appreciate y'all for watching.
We absolutely do. Absolutely.
People love the little prime time thing that we do. They tune in at 10 o'clock, and we got some people in different countries. It'd be early for them. So appreciate y'all for tapping in. California loves it around this time. So hey, we love y'all to pieces. Y'all be sure to follow me on my socials, Voch Lombardi. I'm not talking about nothing, but Bryan Broaddus is where the magic happens on social medias. Okay, so y'all be sure to tap in with him. And hey, we'll be doing some post game work tomorrow. Make sure you watch both of them. All right, y'all hold it down. We love y'all to peace. Till next time. Crown.